On today's show, I show you how we spoil our dreams. Unfortunately, this is the normal scenario, so much so that you'd think this was a normal dream structure that dreams must follow. It isn't. I analysed Lisa's dream to demonstrate this for you. Spoiling them is the default. The spirit world says, "Oh Lisa, it would be great if you could do this," and Lisa says, "Do it yourself." Let's tune in together and find out what Lisa is doing wrong. Hello and welcome to the Dream Interpretation Podcast, the show about life transformation through dream interpretation. I'm Michael Sheridan. So why should we listen to our dreams? Especially with the teaser I gave today. It's like, okay, I'm going to get slapped down. The point is, our dreams are telling us what it is we need to do and how much we've deviated from the plan of our lives. It doesn't help us in any way whatsoever to just say, oh, I'm so far off track, I might as well give up. Absolutely not. Our dreams are relentless. They're always saying what we need to do, what we need to turn around. They also show us our strengths. Sometimes we have an ability that we criticize and we think it has a problem and we don't use it. And our dreams will say, look, you've got this gift, use this gift. Other times they will say, here's a gift you have that you haven't discovered yet because you have this other issue that's holding you back. This bump that is in the way of your life. If you fix this issue, the next step is to get to this gift and you're going to be able to use it and it's going to open your life up in many amazing ways. That's the whole point of dreams. I talked about Jamie's dreams and her dreams were about her boyfriend. She dreamt of her first boyfriend and she's in a relationship now and she's at that point of like, do I want to continue in this relationship or not? And so the dreams that she's having about her first boyfriend are really a reflection on this relationship. And I had wanted to cover two dreams on the show, but we ran out of time. Here's her second dream. She says, I was in an older house with dark wood. Frank was there and asked me if I'd found someone. I said, well, I'm dating someone. He said, yeah, my sister said you wouldn't have any trouble finding someone. And I asked, your sister Angie? He said, no, that's Terry's sister. And I said, oh, that's right. I don't think I recall your sister. I was glad I was able to tell him I was dating someone because I know he would have asked me out otherwise. Frank had on a sweater over a polo shirt. That's the dream. Now, I left out some names, the surname of Frank and the surname of Terry, and they're both leadership names, like if they're leaders in history that you would know well. I didn't give the names because it'll tell us who the dreamer is. What do we see in this dream? I was in an old house with dark wood, so we know some sort of elimination system issue there because of the wood. We're going to skip that. Frank was there and asked me if I had found someone. So all these dreams are about her being Frank, her being herself in the relationship, not changing to please anybody or not changing because of anybody. She said she's dating someone. He said, yeah, my sister. So why all this thing about the sisters and trying to find the actual sister? Well, Jamie needs to work on her feminine energy. And so the sisters represent that, especially not knowing which sister. Like, who are we really talking about here? And so is it this woman or this woman or this woman? And so it's all about Jamie needing to discover her own feminine side and get in touch with that. Because when she does that, like the dream says, she's going to have no trouble whatsoever. And that's what she wants, no trouble whatsoever. Feminine side is the way to that. Then we have, I was glad I was able to tell him I was dating someone because I know he would have asked me out otherwise. So this was an easy conversation. I was asking Jamie about it, what's going on there. And she said he would never have interested her. He never did ask her out or anything like that. But it brought up a topic that is very true for women when they're teenagers and a little bit older, going through school. And this just does not happen in a man's world. It doesn't happen to men. But if a guy asks a teenager out, a teenage boy asks a teenage girl out, and she rejects him, the guy, because he's not used to hormones, could take it really badly and frequently will, and say horrible things about the person or just get that at them in some other way because they're rejected. Now, that does not happen when you're older. If you ask a guy out or a guy asks you out and you say no, and he turns into a jerk, his mates will get onto him. His male friends will sort him out. So men get over that. We do grow, we mature eventually. It just takes some time. The batteries in our Xbox have to run out first, basically. But we do it. So it isn't an issue for her now at this age, but it was an issue before. And I bet any woman listening to the show could think about this, that you have to be considerate of, I have to let this guy down gently because of his reaction. So in other words, I can't be myself. I can't just say, look, Frank, I would rather not. Even the classic cliche of let's just stay friends, that's letting somebody down gently. But this is an issue, or revealed the issue for Jaime, that when it comes to relationships, she still isn't able to be herself, and she needs to be herself because she's living in a different era now. She doesn't need to protect herself by changing and not being truthful. And of course, it's not about hurting people. It's right to let Frank down gently. But the point of the dream is to show to her how much past relationships and past, like even not going out with somebody, still impacts her today, because this dream brings it up all these years later in her life. So there we go. It's interesting. We always think, oh no, past relationships aren't affecting me. We hope it. But they do, and they always do, and we do something about it to heal them. So let's move on. We've closed that one. I said at the start, I was going to talk about how dreams, how we spoil them, and we all do. So this is not just about Lisa. I'm analyzing Lisa's dream, but most of us do this, and I can tell when I'm looking at somebody's dreams. If they start working with me to heal issues, I can tell where they are at in the therapy based on how much they spoil the dream. Because when you really bite into a therapy, when it's working well, we stop spoiling them and we start having really short dreams. Basically where our higher self says, hey, Lisa, I would like you to do this. And you're like, on it, got it. What's the next thing? And then you have another dream. And we hit a point in therapy where we feel like, gosh, I had so many dreams last night that I didn't get any sleep. That's a really good point to hit, because it's like now you are in alignment with your own healing. You've gotten the messages and you are acting in accordance with what you need to do in order to heal the issues. Fantastic time. Long dreams, which is what most of us have, and most people even will report dreams are so long they will break them up and say, I had 3 dreams last night, but it may be the one dream. So let's have a look at Lisa's dream. She calls it Building in an Open Field, Restroom, and My Dog. That's the long title. And it's not that long, it's long enough. So I'm going to stop after each paragraph and describe it and the structure of what we would normally think this type of dream is going to be about. So the first part, I was in a big open field with some other people. I don't know who they were, but it seemed like we were getting ready to build a house on this land. We were talking about which plots of land were ours to build on. The field was kind of brown or light brown in colour, lots of dirt. I looked up ahead across the field and could see a 2-lane highway with lots of cars driving on it. Okay, first paragraph is great. Nothing spoiled here. This is the setting, the location, the open field. Tells us that this is about working on Lisa's heart and emotions. It's not physical. There's no physical issues shown in the dream. So when I say heart, here in this context, it's about her feminine energy, feminine side, and really about being emotionally open and able to share your emotions and so on and so on and so on. So we know that from the open field because fields are green. Grass is green. It's the color of the heart chakra. Also because of the word open, because that's what it's about. It's about the need to be open and let people see who you are. And then it's a big open field, so that's even better. But there are other people there. Bit of a problem here, or at least a problem brewing. Nothing happens yet. She says, I don't know who they were, but it seemed like they were getting ready to build a house, that we were getting ready to build a house on this land. So these are aspects of her that she has yet to discover. And the fact that the dream says we're going to build on this land, it's great. It's like Lisa has just started therapy. She started work on herself in order to heal issues between herself and her mom. And that's the way we typically will bring feminine energy issues into the physical world so that we can work on them and fix them. And the feminine energy is all about our connection with source, our connection with ourselves, our connection with how we feel. Many gifts work through that energy. But doing that work, she's doing it by working on issues with her mom. And the dream then says, because you're going to build on this field, on this part of the land, it means doing the work that you're doing with opening your heart is going to be the foundation on which you can build other things. So really positive, tells her already that she's decided to do the right thing. In fact, at the time of this dream, she hadn't started, she had just decided. And then she says, we're talking about which plots of land are ours and which are theirs. That's not how she puts it. But again, the theme here is that, yes, this is a big field, but it's shared with other people. So I have to share and I have to know which is mine, which is theirs. But the sharing is the point. It's all shared. And that's what the heart is about, sharing yourself. Again, sharing emotionally is the easiest way we notice an imbalance, but there's more to it than that. Like if I hide myself, if I'm shy, if I protect myself, I don't want people to really know how I feel. That's the type of sharing I'm talking about. She says the field was kind of brown or light brown in colours, lots of dirt. So elimination system issues pointed it there. We're going to ignore that. Nothing big in any of our dreams. It's just an issue. I looked up ahead across the field and I could see a 2-lane highway with lots of cars driving on it. What do we know from this? Anything in front of us in a dream is the future, behind us is the past. So this is something in our future. And she even says this is up ahead. That's the classic way for a dream to point out something in your future. And there's a 2-lane highway. And highways are about, again, the heart, the circulatory system, and the emotions. And if you look these up in my book or the free dictionary that you can download at dream-analysis.com, you can see that I say green is about the heart, fields are about the heart, anything open is about the heart, highways are about the heart. So this, I've written about this decades ago. It's just how it is. And we see multiple symbols in a dream always that show us what the subject of matter of the dream is about. And then multiple symbols are going to show us what's holding us back. Anyway, here we're just really laying the groundwork, so to speak. But the dream promises that up ahead that she is going to be able to go places because she is working on her heart now. How do we know that? Because the highway is about that. And I checked with her. She said it's a 2-lane highway. And always in these dreams, we want to see cars going in both directions because it's about the give and flow. The give and take, that flow in the heart. So I share and allow other people to share. And I don't change who I am, or I don't censor my feelings, let's say, and I don't force other people to censor themselves. I don't say, I don't want to hear about it. It's like, or if somebody is sharing with me, if my partner is sharing with me, I don't want to say, well, you've no right to feel that way because I did this for you and I did that for you. And we often censor other people and make it to where they're afraid to be open and sharing with us. And then the reverse also happens for us and we self-censor. So this is about not censoring yourself. Censoring is kind of a funny word. I know why it's in my mind. But I didn't use that joke at the start. So anyway, 2-lane highway with lots of cars driving on. Cars are about our ability to achieve our goals, to go places, to go to where we need to go. And so in the dream, because the cars are pointed out as driving on the highway, of course there's going to be cars driving on the highway. That's what they do. But she points it out in the dream. So it's deliberately saying, this is going to help you get to where you need to go. Going to help you go places. Now, next paragraph. This is where we see the issues creep in. Right in the second paragraph. She says, for some reason, I needed to change my clothes or my shirt, but we were in an open field. So I had to find a private place to do this. Oh yeah, of course. So I turned to walk away to find a place to change. There seemed to be a lot of people walking with me in the same direction. Okay, so she needs to change. This is a theme in her dreams. We see people trying on different clothes and so on. But she wants to change her shirt. Now, you're everything in the dream. What you're meant to do in a dream is just change your shirt there. But she doesn't, it's not private enough for her. She doesn't want to do it with other people around in this open field. And so that's about not wanting people to see you. It's not about people seeing your body. It's about people seeing you as you are. And she doesn't want people to see her as she is. That's her issue. her big issue. And that's why she's working on the issues with mom. So immediately it's already spoiled, because the point of the dream was change your shirt here, make the changes you need to make, and clothes are about attitudes and roles and so on. And so it's like, make that change here, change your attitude, and we're done. But she doesn't want to change. And that's the problem. So she turns her back. She turns to walk away to find a place to change. So it's like, I'm going to leave this healing place, this location that my higher self set up as the healing location in my dream. So this is what we do. This is how we spoil it. We have our setup, and then we have the spoiling. The spoiling being you're asked to change and she doesn't want to change. Now in front of you, please. Then she says, next paragraph, somehow I ended up in a line of people waiting to get into some place. It seemed like they were waiting to get in to see a concert or a show of some sort. I just wanted to find a restroom where I could change. So the line of people waiting to get in somewhere, that's elimination system again. So we see that again in her dream. We're not covering that part. I'm just covering it to say what it is about. She says, we're waiting to get in to see a concert or a show. She doesn't know which, so we can't comment on that. She wanted to find a restroom so she could change. So this is about eliminating something. So restrooms are where we go to eliminate. But in this dream, it's about psychological elimination of something, elimination of what's come earlier in the dream. And what has come earlier is the fact that I don't feel comfortable. And the whole reason that she's trying to find the restroom to change is I don't feel comfortable with other people seeing me. And so that's what it's about, eliminating that discomfort. Next paragraph. So she's given the logical reasons why she wants to do it. But the dream, even by putting the restroom in there, it's still a healing device. It would be like, okay, let's get rid of this. Whatever negative feeling you have in the restroom, if you still do it, still change your clothes, then it's going to be good. You've taken the healing. So will she? Will she? Next paragraph. There was a restroom at the entrance of the building, so I waited in line to get up there. At some point, a dog came up to me and I recognized this dog to be my dog, who had recently passed away in April this year. I saw her clearly, and she came up to me and I started petting her. Then I noticed she had some sort of tag on her underside. I saw a number on it. But now I don't remember what the number was. I took the tag off of her. Okay. I could have probably skipped this bit, but when we approach a building in a dream, that's about coming into our mother's body, coming into the physical world. So the first physical structure we enter in a dream is coming into our body. And where are we when we come into our body? We're in the womb. We're in our mom's body. So the point of this part is that she brought this issue with her. Already the issues that she had in the timeline of the dream pre-existed her birth this time. And that's useful to know, because when you see that in a dream, you're able to say to the dreamer, you've always had this issue. I bet you can't remember any time in your life when you didn't have it. And she, of course, confirms it. And what is the point of that? If you're trying to find its source in this lifetime, you won't, because it isn't in this lifetime. Anyway, the dog part is she's able to be open with her dog. Her dog did pass away, and the dream is trying to get her to be more open there. Like, let's send the dog in. The dog is going to cause her to be happy and joyful and like, this is great, I'm with my dog. And beneficial. She doesn't remember the number. That would have been useful. Let's move on. Then there was a lady in front of me in the line. Who's the lady? Mom. But this person plays a positive role here, kind of. She's kind of saying, look, this is what you need to do. The lady in front of me in the line, who asked a guy who was near the front door watching people as they were going in, she asked if she could use the restroom. I said that I needed to use the restroom too. The guy told us that we could leave our stuff, like our purses or bags, with him and go to the restroom. He brought out a table to put our stuff on, which we did. Then we went into the restroom. Okay, so perfect. So the lady is basically saying, follow me. This is how to do it. But again, she's got to work on her feminine side, which she is. That's what the heart is all about, feminine energy. But what we see here, there's a guy at the front door watching people. So this means she feels scrutinized. And because, again, we see this before she even goes into the building, it means this is pervasive. All through her life, she's going to feel like people are watching me or are critical of me or whatever it happens to be. And that gives us a huge clue. This is one of the reasons she doesn't like to be open, because she feels like whatever she shares is going to be used or criticized, and she's going to be criticized. Even if people don't criticize her, she's going to be thinking that they're thinking critical thoughts about her. And so that tells us what she has to work on. Again, she brought that from a former life. It doesn't matter. She can work on it in this lifetime by focusing on the issues of mom. That's the point. And he brings a table out for them to put their purses and bags on. So again, this is stuff from a past life. And he's saying, leave this behind. You can enter this building. In other words, go into this lifetime without this baggage. Now, she doesn't succeed, but that it shows her the point. That's the point of this lifetime. I mean, she has the baggage in this lifetime, but the point is to eliminate it, leave it behind. That's what's on the table, because he brings a table out for them to put it on. That's what you got to do. Focus on letting go of this stuff, this old stuff. Then she says, the restroom was huge and I was walking for a while just trying to find an open stall. And I went into one stall, turned around and realized that there was no door on the stall. It was just completely open to everyone else in the restroom. So I decided not to use that stall. So there we go. She finds the restroom, but it's still not private enough. And usually, like, you know, in a locker room, it's all the same gender, and it was in this dream as well. I asked her. And she still doesn't want to change in front of all just the women. And so it still shows she brought this difficulty with her. She brought this issue of not wanting to be open because there's no door on the stall. It's another symbol, in fact, for birth. It's a perfect symbol of being in the womb. But like a small enclosed space. So anyway, she also says it's an open stall. So we see what she needs to do is be open. And we see the word stall, which is kind of a pun on it's a block. It slows you down. So you got to work on this. You got to fix this. But she's not happy. What else? Yeah, again, so remember, people seeing her while she changes is about people seeing her and how open she is. And she doesn't want to see people to see her for not so much who she is, but she's afraid to share, afraid to be open because she feels like she's going to be criticized. I went looking for another stall with a door. I kept walking. The restroom went on forever. So this is like a karmic reference. So this means that she's done this before. She's had another lifetime where she's tried to deal with this and hasn't been successful. Now that she's working with us to clear the issues with mom, she will definitely be successful. It's just a process. When you bite into it and follow the process, it's always going to work. So that's really cool. But not good to think that something has followed me from lifetime to lifetime. And that's kind of like what the other lady in front of her was as well. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Finally, I found what seemed like a private area with a stall that I could use. When I went in there, there was a big chair. Seemed like a chair you would see in a hair salon, but larger, like a reclining chair almost. Okay, so this is about relax. That's what she needs to do. And a hair salon is very positive. It's always positive in a dream. It's about changing how you think. And so that's what she's meant to use, like she says in the dream. It's one I could use. She says, soon I was aware of many other people in the same area as well. So again, it's like, oh no, now there's people here. I don't want to be open. I don't want people around. I don't want people to see me. Taylor Swift sat in the big chair that I was going to sit in. She seemed kind of rude, like she was asking me to do things for her or get her things as if I was her servant. And that's the end of the dream. So we see the structure so far, the setup, then no, I don't want to do it. Then let's bring in the dog. Let's try get her open. Let's try get it to work that way. But there's a tag on the dog. That's the limitation that needs to be removed. We don't know the numbers, so we can't really comment. Then she comes into the world, meant to leave the baggage behind. The baggage being that she doesn't want to be open. And she can't find, she's not able to eliminate it. Difficulty doing it. We even see that she's done this before in another lifetime. And then we have this Taylor Swift showing up. Now, Taylor Swift is a guide in the dream. She represents the ability to channel. So Lisa has the ability to channel. But her guide is saying, hey, could you do this? And she's looking at the guide as if she's the rudest thing in the world. She wants me to get her things, do things for her or get her things as if I was her servant. Now, I said at the start that she's like, do it yourself. That's her attitude, which is her attitude. Like, why should I do this for you? Here's the thing to realize. Our guides don't ever need us to do anything. Our angels or guides, they're already set up. They're fine. If we do nothing, it only impacts us. It doesn't impact them whatsoever. When our guides ask us to do something, it's because they know it's in alignment with our life purpose and it's going to help us grow. But here we see Lisa not wanting to do what she's being asked to do. It's like, who are you? This is rude. You're rude. Now that comes from mom, because the guides are going to generally show up, the ones that show the issues, they will have the same gender as the parent you've got all the big issues with. And so it's like, it's not your guides are rude, it's mom was rude. Mom would sit on the couch, mom was lazy and would ask me to do this, do that, do the other. And again, I asked if that was true, and she said, yes, absolutely. She laughed about how on point it was. And so because of that, she has a distrust of people in authority or being asked to do things because it pushes the buttons that mom installed. And that's what she's got to work on. So working on the issues with mom is going to fix this. Not doing the things your guides ask you to do is only going to impact you. Never going to impact your guides. It just isn't how it works. They don't even need you to be here to do it. A lot of people kind of have a messiah complex now. Lisa doesn't, but some people have a messiah complex that, like, I'm here and I need to do this for the world. Not true at all. You never need to be the one here doing anything, but by being here and being chosen to be the one to do it, it gives you the opportunity to grow and also do things, yes, that can be done, but don't feel like you're the only one that can do them. The point is, what growth are you going to get out of your life by doing the things here, like becoming open, learning to communicate with her guides, which is what she needs to do, and trusting her guide, and get to the point where she has this terrific rapport with her guide so that there is this trust and love between them, which will ultimately come. There's no way it won't. Always when you see this in a dream, you know that's guaranteed. And she will have this fantastic rapport with her guides. But the foundation that's going to get her there is learning to have an open heart, which is really what the whole start of the dream is about. So there we go. Seems like a structure. It isn't. It's just our higher self trying to recover a dream that we keep spoiling over and over and over. Until eventually our higher self sends in an authority to just tell you what to do, like Taylor Swift here, or else gives up and says, right, let's scratch this dream. Let's try another one. But there we go. I'm out of time. I have another really good dream I wanted to get to. I will start off next week's show with that. But in the meantime, go to my website, dream-analysis.com, download my dictionary and get on my list. You'll find out about all the courses, etc., that we have coming up and free events and so on. And we're going to have another really, really big, major free event sometime in October, I believe. But I will see you next week. Take care.